So we are like 10 days into the vlog, and apparently I haven't filmed any thoughts. So I'm very sorry about that. I have no idea how that happened. I have been really looking forward to this one. All of the videos so far have been different. Heart No Kuninyalis, I had read that series in its entirety. Oh no, Harrow Ride, I only had one volume. This one I have 5 volumes, and I have only read 4 of them. So it is exciting during my manga buy ban to have something that I have not read yet. Of course, that's quite a while away for now. I really enjoyed this the first time I read it, and I really wasn't expecting that. I don't know what it was that pushed me to start it, because I had felt for a while, this is something that a lot of people watched and loved when they were young, and obviously I'm not ready for the crypt, but I'm not like, that kind of person. And yeah, I didn't expect to be so taken with it, and I was. And I didn't expect to be taken by surprise by it again, and I have been. I really have. For one, I actually noticed how long the chapters are this time, and I think that first chapter is actually pretty perfect, both in just like the humor of it, the style that I love every time Usagi and Mamoru meet, because it's just so funny. And yeah, it's great. I also just like really, really love looking at it, which has been not a surprise because I know it's a very pretty manga, but I mean in the sense that it's also a very busy manga, but the page itself doesn't look cluttered. I love like the textures and like the screen tones and all that. Yeah, it's very busy, very full, and I really like that. Where I am currently is chapter 4. So we have Ami Mizuno and Reihino, and that's great. I'm kind of just stuck on this bit currently where I think Jadeite has died, which was very surprising. It's not like anticlimactic or anything, but it was also it just felt like such a jump in the violence, and I didn't necessarily expect that from the girls. Not complaining, I think it's great. I don't actually have volume 1 with me right now. I meant to go and pick it up and I forgot. But that reminds me that I do actually have another thought about the series. And I think of all of my thoughts, this is the one that's gonna is gonna land me in trouble. Having gotten as far as I did, I was really surprised because I mean obviously there is some friendship there, but I just don't really. I feel it was more with words than on the page. And all this said was like the caveat of I hope I remembered wrong. But yeah, that's I think one of the big things for me. I know how shit fandom can be to women, so I'm not gonna like complain about people focusing on like the girls and Sailor Moon. I do think, however, for all like the talk of queerness in the manga and the show, it's strange that I've never seen anyone talk about Nephrite, who has shown up twice as a villain and both times like disguised as a woman, which is interesting. I'm probably just going to look for other people talking about it because I don't think I know anything enough to wade in myself, but I just think it's interesting. The last chapter of the volume has been having these wee things around at the side. I generally like them. I know they're not like squishing the page in any, and they're cute. I think I'm just a little bit confused why they're here, and why they weren't in any of the other chapters. We've kind of like finally gotten to a chapter where there's a little bit more time with the girls. Ami's still a little bit of like a nothing burger, but you know, like Makoto, we're seeing like some of her personality. We've gotten her background. It's but the rest of them are still not really characters unto themselves, and a lot of the development has been with Queen Beryl and Sailor Moon Tuxedo Mask, and I am not complaining about that because I think they are very sweet. They've kind of stopped being as funny, but I don't know. I'm not going to complain about it. I really like all the romance and the reincarnated lovers angle. I just. I think even from the first chapter, there's been like a drastic change in how much of a crybaby she is. And it's fine. Like, it's working within the context of the story, but I guess just. It is kind of the problem when you spend time in fandom that they will latch on to something even if it changes as the series goes on. And I just. Yeah, it feels like there was a snapshot of Usagi very early on that the fandom has just kind of not let go of. So, I have not quite been enjoying it as much as I thought I would. It's still really fun. I still love it in the moment. It's just, yeah. I also, we're coming up on Sailor V's introduction, and I really don't like that. It's going to be in volume 2, which is. Oh, I just. It fills me with secondhand embarrassment. And I think once we get past that, I'll be fine. But yeah, just the anticipation of that is a little bit off putting. This, you know, the going through the names and then remembering Endymion. Sorry about that. Is I don't know. It's just so romantic to me. So it's in the second chapter of volume 2 where Sailor V was revealed to not be the princess, and that was both longer than I expected it to take, and fine. We were mostly dealing with like the reincarnation stuff, so I didn't really mind, but I was still pretty tense when all the Sailor Guardians got together. And I'm still a little bit tense now because I felt like that was something that kind of needed, like, Sailor V has spent months thinking that she's the princess, and surely we're going to deal with some of her feelings on the matter. But no. We have now been to the moon, and the queen is dead again, permanently this time. I'm not sure. And that's like another big emotional thing. I'm not sure at this point if we're going to deal with any of that. It's weird because I have read this far into the series before, and I think the first 4 volumes I've read. But maybe it's also just like fandom stuff. I really expected these girls to be friends. Like, they are friends, but I expected them to have a friendship that was present in the manga. And in general, it hasn't been. Even now, I'm still like not finding that they're rising above like their stock archetypes. Like, Grey is one of the ones who is most fleshed out. I think I've said this before, but she's still, you know, like the mean, pretty one. And I don't know. It's only volume 2, I should not be this frustrated, but I keep thinking about where we ended up with like Sailor Pluto and like all the steps it takes to get there. And I think that the manga is a lot more fast moving than I thought it was, than I remembered it being. And I don't know if it has that kind of care for its characters that I was expecting. And again, I'm not saying people are making it up, although fandom certainly does shit like that, but it could also be a product of the adaptations, but I don't know, it's just unsatisfying. So I am actually really enjoying where we are. The whole thing currently with Usagi and Mamoru is like, I love the angst. I love that she didn't go to kill him. I know that feels like it should be like an obvious thing to say, but like I do love that. I love this idea of like, oh no, are we doing this again? Can we not escape this fate? I have to be honest, the moment like that they were gone, in my head I got like the Shania Twain thing of like, let's go girls. It did not quite work out that way, unfortunately. We got a little bit more with Luna and Artemis, and I actually really liked, what was it, the Four Heavenly Kings. I liked that they got closure. I liked that they go. I don't know if you could call it redemption, because that's certainly not the word that I'm reaching for, but it's the only word that's coming. I do like that, but I think I like it in part because of it being too late. With the girls, my impression is still mostly like, I wish I knew you better to make this more impactful. But I don't. I think I am getting used to it being as fast paced as it is. I just like the longer and longer that we go, I just don't think I can forgive it for not being about the girls more. Like, that doesn't need to be the main thing, but like, I think I was talking a lot on the blog about Tokyo Mew Mew. I don't know if I've talked about it in the videos. And certainly I don't know if you want to count Witch and Winx Club as like magical girls, because it is outside of that. It might have taken a lot of inspiration from magical girls, but it's, it's not. Same thing as like, you have the Gothic, and then you have like American Gothic and Southern Gothic. It's like different subgenres. I don't know how relevant Witch and Winx Club are to the discussion, but I just, they were at least friends, and you got to see it and you got to enjoy that part of the show. I know it also started as a comic. It wasn't just about Will, it was also about the other girls. They also had like arcs and important things that was just about them and not just about the big bad. And and I don't think I can get over that. That being said, I think this is like the best and perfect ending to this volume. Because it wasn't going to end on like happily ever after. We were definitely going to get a hook for the next story, and I think this small precocious child pulling a gun is like the is like the best you could have done. So this is about the point where I realised this is just not going to be a fun reread. I wanted it to be about the girls, and this is like, not that it wasn't already, but it's fully into the this is her and her family thing now, which is disappointing, but at least that's going to be the thing that I have in mind as I keep reading. So today's bookmark, Plant Pot. I don't necessarily think I'm wrong in saying this is like the family show now, but we did actually surprisingly pivot and get a bit more like character growth, development, insight, insight mostly into Ray Makoto. I feel so sorry for Amy. Like, she was the first one to show up, and I think we only really learned that her parents are divorced, that, you know, like the dad is still alive, because we didn't get to spend a lot of time with her before she was abducted, which is kind of hilarious to me. I know they were all reborn on Earth, but like, they have like the powers of their past lives. They're a little bit alien. So like, alien-ish people getting alien abducted is just, it's funny. The rest of it, I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think there's also just a lot of new characters being thrown about, especially in like Makoto's chapter. I think there's a lot of really interesting things going on. I love Pluto. I love that she's appeared. I don't love the family stuff, and I really don't love this whole jealousy thing with her kid. I really there are ways I could see it working better, but it feels too romancy for me. I'm not like, it's not something that I'm enjoying. It's not an element that I'm enjoying. I'm not mad at it or anything. Like, I am a gothic girly. I ain't mad. But it's not what I'm here for. And frankly, as a gothic girly, if you were going to do that, then fucking do it, you know? Lean into it more. Make it weirder and make it creepier, but also, like, yeah, no, I know it's shoujo, so that wasn't going to happen. I think I do kind of struggle with it because it is the volume that's given me the most of what I want, which is the girls as a team caring about each other. And I mean, technically, technically not really as a team, because they are being yoinked from Earth, but you know what I mean. Okay, with the notes to go, I still don't like the execution of it all. I like that both Usagi and Chibiusa have this jealousy in them. I think it's a good mirror. I really like that last page. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not inherently against like an evil race in fantasy. I think it depends on what you're doing. I think it depends on execution. I don't think it works in this kind of thing, though. I like, oh, the only reason, you know, they'd be able to go to the planet is if they're descended from the prisoner who was exiled there. It just feels a little bit like, I think it shines the spotlight too much on the fact that, you know, it's like, oh, if these people, if we had gotten rid of this person, if we had destroyed the bloodline, this would not have happened. Which I think takes it into uncomfortable territory. So we're on to 4 now, and I've just realised I must have misremembered. I thought that before they went into the past, that there was this one panel, not even a big one, where it had the outer senshi, the blonde one. But yeah, it didn't. And surprising no one, this is one of my favourite looks. So, you know, as with the outer senshi, I was starting to think that I was losing my fucking mind. But no, there is, what is it called again? Casablanca Casablanca Memory. Boy, that... I don't got nothing to say about that. I remember just absolutely hating it. But again, I do think with these little bits at the end, if they continue, and I fully expect them to, hopefully Amy will get something. But like, Ray is so fleshed out compared to the other girls. Yeah, and it just feels like Amy has gotten nothing, which is maybe I do want the poor Heavenly King's butt back. Okay, I'm gonna be serious now. She did it. I can't say she didn't do it. She went for it. It was very explicit. And I don't know why this is like bothering me more than like Matilda, for instance. Although to be fair, Matilda did also bother me. I think it's the decision to make this explicit without deepening the engagement with it. Either that or it's, you know, this is aimed at kids. And I don't think it's that, personally. Because I don't think... Like, a cherished memory of mine is like finding Silence of the Lambs when I was in primary 6 at the school bringing by. Like, I have always watched and read things above my age. It's fine. I just don't like the way it handled it, and I don't have enough like in my head, Heatwave and all, to really kind of grapple with what I wanted from it. It's not entirely this, but I do think it is a lack of consequence, which is such a weird thing to say when Chibiusa's this whole arc is, she wanted to be like her mum, she wanted to be powerful like her mum, so she stole the crystal, and then, you know, everything that happened, her one and only friend is dead because of her. Consequence. And like, where is the consequence for this? And I think it's also just putting such a glaring hole on the series. I don't even know if I'd want to say flaw. Up until this point, I don't think I would have said flaw. Because, like, fast pace, we're not, like, doing deep dives on character emotions, fine. So, again, Sailor V, whatever she felt about being, you know, deceived for months on end. Sagi seeing, like, her past life mother kind of ghost. And then, what, did that ghost die? Like, no follow-up on that. It's fine. I don't like it, but it's fine. Here, like, I genuinely think it's really cute, that ending. But like, we're not gonna deal with this. Okay. We're not gonna deal with this in the story arc about dealing with things. Okay. So, everything I have said, I'm actually really looking forward to this. It has apparently been 10 months since I uploaded the first reading on my manga as of filming, and that was actually filmed the year before. I was just really disorganized in terms of what got uploaded when. So I have been on a manga buy ban for so long, and this one looks a little bit chunky, I think, compared to some of the other volumes. So I don't care where we go. It's new stuff, and that's all I want. I guess we'll never know what it was that I misremembered. But man, I love these two. Just from their introductions alone, they're so cool. Okay, so first, I love this. I love that they're both getting the same speech bubble. They're hanging out, and so it does actually kind of. I know it's probably to indicate that they're speaking at the same time, but it does actually feel like they're friends at this point. Which is just like everything I wanted, so I'm delighted. Also, I didn't realize that the wee one, I can't remember her first name, that she has also been introduced in this volume. I mean, I guess obviously Pluto died in the last one, and then I guess I just thought these two would be introduced. I didn't realize all of them, but then again, for like the Inner Century, they were all introduced in like real quick succession. But these two, I just love how kind of weird and intimidating and off-putting they are. I love that you don't really know where you stand with them at the moment. Obviously, everything's going to work out, but like, I love that uncertainty, and I love that they're feeding into it. Before now, I had given some of the volumes 5 stars. Having finished all that I have, volume 5 is the only one I would give 5 stars, and it is like, it's really found its footing, and it's amazing. We're getting time with like the girls being friends. We have like some really nice family dynamics. The mystery of the Outer Century is so fun. And then they start pulling in all these other things, and I didn't know we'd get all of them in this one volume, but we did. And okay, so each arc has taken up 2 volumes, so I knew this was going to be a little bit of a cliffhanger. But what a fucking cliffhanger. I'm so mad, because I'm not going to finish reading all my manga until next year at the earliest. So 2028 I will be able to buy volume 6. And I think the answer is not going to surprise anyone. Of course, I'm going to keep going with the series. I was a lot more happy about that before the reread, but I'm really excited about the direction it's taken. Really excited to see where it's going now that it seems to have like really found its footing. I'm just like, I'm so excited for what's next, and it's annoying, but yeah, it'll be great when I get to it. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm gonna go enjoy the storm now. Bye.